Goa is a land of immense beauty and as such attracts thousands of tourists every year. But unfortunately, this beauty is not untouched by the mounting waste problem that the world is facing. In order to tackle this problem, our former Chief Minister, Sri Manohar Parrikar, determined to find a scientific solution, set up a team of dedicated individuals which visited and studied both Indian and foreign waste technology facilities to resolve the problem.
I am extremely privileged to be associated with waste management plant at Saligao since its inception. Initially, the Department of Science and Technology had set this up. GSIDC has been the managing associates for setting up this plant. Thereafter, Goa Waste Management Corporation came into being, and thereafter we expanded it, and now the operations are run by Hindustan Waste Treatment Limited and administratively controlled by Goa Waste Management Corporation.
The government of Goa awarded Hindustan Waste Treatment Private Limited to set up a state-of-the-art facility with some of the most advanced technology in waste management. Work commenced under the supervision of an expert committee headed by Padma Shri Dr. Kale, along with members from NEERI, IIT Mumbai and BITS Goa.
GWMC is running a facility at Saligao for treating the solid waste which is generated in North Goa. This 250 metric ton plants has realized the dream that we can make this Vasundhara free of garbage.
An existing landfill was identified as the land for this project. The team began setting up the waste treatment facility while simultaneously remediating the waste from the landfill. In an astonishing 45 days, 50,000 tons was treated into refuse-derived fuel RDF and compost by 2 multi-deck vibratory screens along with other heavy machinery and carriage vehicles. The RDF was sent to cement companies and the compost was used for green belt development. The entire dump was cleared and sanitary landfill cells were constructed on the same land. Construction of the facility continued at a rapid pace while being closely monitored by experienced engineers to ensure the utmost quality. Also, trained technicians from foreign-based equipment manufacturers assisted in the supervision of the machinery installation. After 15 months of dedicated work, India's first integrated solid waste treatment facility was finally operational. The 100 tons per day solid waste management facility SWMF at Saligao, Goa, which was put in operations in August of 2016, was subsequently upgraded to 250 tons per day in December 2021, for which the financial assistance was availed of from NABARD.
Initially, Rural Infrastructure Development Fund was started in the year 1995-96 with an aim to provide loans to state government for completion of incomplete projects related to irrigation, flood protection and watershed management function. The demand for rural infrastructure has undergone sea change over the last few decades. Taking cognizance of this transformation, various activities such as solid waste management, which are necessary for holistic and rural development, have been considered under RIDF. NABARD has financed solid waste treatment plant at Saligao under Tranche 27.
The facility adopts an integrated treatment philosophy wherein there are segregated lines for treatment of wet and dry waste. The dry waste is brought into the facility by panchayats in trucks and are weighed at the weighbridge station and then are unloaded onto the tipping floor. Here, a front loader loads this waste into an in-feed bunker and bag opener. The chain conveyor carries it to a wind sifter which separates the waste into 3 fractions: heavy, medium and light. Medium fraction, mainly comprising of recyclables, are conveyed to the manual sorting station for sorting of recyclables. Waste is sorted into multiple recyclable fractions. These fractions are baled and stored separately before being sent to the recyclers. Light fraction is taken to the RDF storage area. RDF is used for co-processing by cement companies in place of coal. A separate wet waste treatment shed is provided to receive the incoming wet waste. wet waste is unloaded to the in-feed bunkers with multiple screw conveyors, which homogenize the content and feed the same into an organic extrusion press. This unit automatically segregates the mixed waste into dry or inorganic fractions and wet or organic fractions. The pulp is then pumped into the thermophilic digester. Here it ferments and generates biogas, which is cleansed, scrubbed of H2S and fed into biogas engines of 1370 kilowatt capacity, and the excess biogas is flared off. The generated electricity is utilized to run the entire processing facility, and the balance is exported to the grid. The digested sludge is then taken to a screw press and centrifuge, where it is dewatered, and the dewatered solids are then taken into the drying sheds for drying and composting. In the solar drying shed, a turning and conveying machine helps dissipate the moisture from the sludge, yielding a dry granulated compost, which is then sent out directly as a fine quality compost. The grit, which is less than 10% of the waste received, is disposed into the scientific landfill that is built and lined with bentonite, HDPE and geotextile covers. After it is screened, centrate and flow wash effluent from solid waste management facility is treated in the ETP and then equalized in the equalization tank. It is treated biologically in the sequential batch reactor, which will further reduce the pollutant load in the effluent. It is further treated in multi-grade filters followed by activated carbon filters and is disinfected using chlorine. This treated water is stored in treated water storage tanks for gardening and fire water storage tanks for any further use. Biofilters are used to ensure that odorous airs are effectively sucked and absorbed from the process area before it is vented into the atmosphere. Ambient air inside the sorting station is always kept clean and cool by using air filters and cooling systems. The complete facility is monitored and operated from a central control room via a PLC SCADA-based system. The engineer on watch also has a complete visual contact with key areas of the plant through a series of cameras. The facility is also fully equipped with necessary safety features, including a fully fledged firefighting system. In just a span of 7 years, the facility has managed to treat 3.35 lakh metric tons of solid waste and generate 2.31 crore kilowatt hours of power.
The state-of-the-art facility is one of Asia's best biogas from waste plants, generating an average of 28,000 units of electricity, with 40% used in the facility's operations and the rest exported to the grid. The GWMC, along with the Department of Science, Technology and Waste Management, is committed to sustainable development in waste management and proud of the progress made so far.
A visible change in the facility's surroundings is an added bonus.
It is a proud feeling for me as the chairman. There's so many scientists, tourists, those who are coming, they are visiting on this plant to see the facilities. 250 TPD mixed waste we are treating the per day. Through this mixed waste we are generating the power. One of the best practice of the solid waste management is going on at this plant.
With most materials being recycled or repurposed and only a small fraction ending up in the landfill, sufficient electricity to run the entire facility is being generated by the biogas and from the solar panels installed. Any excess is exported to the local grid. Water being recycled for maintenance and non-potable use, and practicing rainwater harvesting along with the high-quality compost that is sent out, the facility is clearly a glance of the vision of a zero-waste Goa, a self-sustainable and a clean Goa. GWMC is committed to sustainable waste management practices that will benefit the environment and the people of Goa for generations to come.